You are listening to Visionaries Wrestling Network, providing your perfect podcast experience.
M is for Mason.
G is for Graham.
B for Betcha.
This is the Mgb Wrestling Podcast, the podcast with PG-rated material accessible to wrestling fans of all ages. Hi, my name is Mason, and here's proof that wrestling fans still live with their parents, my co-host, my dad, Graham.
Alright, this is going to be the Infinite Pro review from March 9th from Columbus, Ohio, and it was called Rise Up. Now, before we do that, we've actually got to go back a little bit, Mason. This is from Mgb Mason on February 8th. Just a random post like we do every week, episode 39, featuring mainly Jackson and at Mike Aaron. Mike Aaron was actually our guest on that episode. He did a quiz. And you weren't in this one. And the reason you weren't in this one was, well, I think partly because I think you had baseball games or you had something and you didn't do anything.
It was a baseball practice.
Well, no, that was for something different though. I don't know why you didn't review Raw and SmackDown that week, but anyway, I don't know. Anyway, I got Jackson at the end, and we went to Infinite Pro in February, and we recorded it. We liked it. We sent everything off, and we just posted it. Now, I don't actually see any mention on here at all of Infinite Pro. I'm just looking. We didn't tag them. We didn't do anything. And to be honest, it was just a few minutes. I only thought I was going to get 5 minutes out of Jackson. And I got nearly 10 minutes. We got a response on February 15th. This is from Big Pappy Franco Varga. I'll make sure those little nerds at MGB Wrestling Pod remember my name the next time they come to @InfinitePro. #guaranteed. And then smiley face. We did. When we reviewed that interview, we couldn't remember. We remembered it was Chris Masters, because obviously we've heard of Chris Masters before, we've seen him before, we watched him on Impact, and Jackson was a big fan of. We could not remember Franco's name. Even though we had a big poster, we still couldn't remember his name.
I remember his name from a poster, but you didn't even remember from seeing him.
Well, we talked about him, and because you asked who did he fight, so we told you, because we read from the poster, but we just didn't remember at that point. So, yeah, Franco responded to us, and definitely, we said we were going back anyway, because we really enjoyed it, and we couldn't go to this one, because they're actually in several different states. It's like West Virginia, Ohio, obviously Delaware, because that's where we went before. So that's just a little backstory to what happened. So this is the March one, and we did get to see Franco in this one. So okay, match one. This was Sless versus Brayden Leigh. Now, we didn't do a full review, as I just talked about this last time, so there might be a few things that we'll mention that did appear, because we actually went back and looked at some of these just to check. We looked at the card. So we've actually seen, I think it was Sless before. Sless was actually in the IPW Fury television title. It was match 5. It was the champion, Bad Bad Banks, who was defending against Paragon. And actually, Sless Taylor, that was his debut when Jackson and I went. So this is his second match at Infinite Pro. And it says, this exciting match proved to be what all the hype was about. But in the end, Ben, showing why he's the champ, walked away still the champ. So Bad Bad Banks retained his championship in a match that we went to see. I found the results later, because I couldn't remember at the time, and I wasn't sure where to look. But now we're kind of into Infinite Pro, I know a little bit better about where to look. Slash reminded me of Maven for this one when I saw him. I don't know if you know who Maven is.
No.
He's an old WWE wrestler. It was kind of funny when I mentioned that we were actually, because when I record Good Cop, Bad Cop, I always talk about what's coming up, and I said MGB is going to do this. Before the start of the show, Matt actually mentioned Maven. Like, I haven't heard Maven's name mentioned in like 10 years, and then suddenly it was like, he mentioned it, and at the end I said, I've been saving it right until the end, but we thought Sless looked like Maven a little bit.
So Brayden claims that he has food in his duffel bag.
Uh-huh.
And so their turnbuckles are a little out of line, so like I see one very on the right, then one very on the left.
Yeah, you pointed it out. You're like, is that like out of line? I was like, oh yeah, it is. Normally the referees will twist those back. This was only the first match as well, so.
Yeah. So Sless gets in an arm lock, and then Sless does a backflip to reverse it, then does a Aleister Black flippy sit down thing. That thing that he does with Ricochet. That thing.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
He sits in the middle of the ring and just sits back and watches and like.
And
okay.
then Brayden Leigh, he does that Kofi Kingston. Where he grabs the ropes and then goes over the middle rope, and then he just kicks him over the top rope. You know what that is, right?
Sort of.
Yeah. And then Brayden Lee wins with a frog splash.
Okay, so Brayden Leigh actually won this one. Now, I got a little bit more about Sless. I looked up Sless. His real name's Sless Taylor. Or that's his character's name. Actually, I'm not sure what his real name is. This is from the Mansfield News Journal. Now, I think this is Mansfield, Ohio, actually, which is near where we've got relatives. And this is an interview with Jimmy the Living Nightmare Leigh. And he says, he was very coachable, very teachable, Leigh said. He took all my instructions. For some kids, it's all about repetition. He picked things up pretty quick. Describing his style as old school mixed with a little bit of new school flair. Taylor has made a name for himself in various Ohio promotions. I guess it is Mansfield, Ohio then. So much so that the WWE has taken notice. He's had several tryouts with the company, including at the Arnold Classic in 2015, and he hopes to receive another down at the WWE's Performance Center in Orlando in the near future. So, Sless Taylor might be something to watch out for. If he's already had tryouts there, we know a few people have had tryouts. Different people who we've seen on indie organisations, but that's pretty cool when you get to feature in things like that.
Stokely, he just recently joined.
Stokely Hathaway, absolutely, yeah.
And then, oh my god. I can't, something Ellering.
Rachel Ellering?
Yeah, Rachel. She joined recently. EC3, not too long ago.
Yeah. There's been a few people. Like I say, we've only been going to indie events we're coming up on 2 years, and once we get to September, but we're just over 18 months. But yeah, we've seen a few.
So I was reading this book that you gave me for my birthday. It's like a wrestling book.
Okay.
It's all that has the WrestleManias, and then they had a Hall of Fame thing.
Yeah.
And I was looking, and you've seen 5 Hall of Famers, I think.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, Tony Atlas, Tito Santana, Mankind, slash all of his alter egos, Jimmy Hart,
who we saw at the Freeman Infinite Pro event. Yep.
And I can't remember, but there was one more. I just don't remember it.
Oh, I'm sure there is. Yeah, we've done pretty good, actually. Now, I didn't actually mention this to you. Remember last year, Chikara put on some events? There was one at Reading Phillies. I actually saw it come up on my Facebook feed a couple of days ago. They're going to do it again this year. I think we can make it. I think we're going to be around for it to be able to see it. It's actually Tony Atlas.
Oh.
So that might be kind of cool, because we got to see him, but we didn't get a chance to talk to him. We didn't get a chance for a photograph or an autograph or anything like that.
And then we could
So that might be one we can go see.
Yeah, let's just hope he didn't blow out his back this time.
Hopefully not. Yeah. Chikara's actually appearing at a few places. They're also appearing in Allentown at the Iron Pigs, because I know we've been to that one. I'm not sure who... They're doing a wrestling event. I'm not sure if they have a guest with them or not. And I also just saw, literally an hour before we recorded, they're going to make the Wilmington Blue Rocks as well.
Oh.
Their first ever time in Delaware. I was like, oh, great. Same day as crab wrestling. I was like, okay, I guess we're not going to that then. We haven't been to a wrestling event in nearly a month now. It's a long time.
Nova Pros disbanded. And,
well, they had that one weekend.
Too.
Well, it wasn't that. We had that one weekend where there was 5 events on at the same time. And then now it's just like, nope, nothing. So anyway, it's the way it goes. Alright, match 2. This was Chris Rex versus Miles Morales. Did I remember you spelling Chris Rex wrong?
No, I put Chris Ben.
I put Rex with 2 X's for some reason. You spelled Chris wrong as well, I think.
Chris.
Yeah, it's with a K.
Supposed to be Kris.
Not that it matters when you're reading it out, anyway. Alright, we have seen some of these. Oh, me and Jackson did.
I have something in between the match.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So, I like how they do 30-second breaks after each match. They have promos and all that stuff. And then a Road Warrior appeared in one of them, but then they promote Fury Pro. It gets a little break, so after you see a match, you get to just reflect on that match a little bit.
I thought it was cool as well, because I always want to know as well, when is the next event? That's always my first thing. So they'll tell you things like that, and obviously they appear in different states as well. No, I agree. I think that's really cool. We've seen Chris Rex before. He was in the original match 1 from February. He was against Royal Money. Okay, it says Chris Rex entered the ring, however, Royal Money did not show for the event. General Manager Jimmy Hart replaced Royal Money with Hobo Harry, and Chris Rex defeated Hobo Harry.
So he was facing Miles Morales, and I don't think you know who Miles Morales is.
I don't know.
He's in Spider-Man. And so that's why he had a
that,
spider on his trunks.
Oh, well, that's right, because I said, oh, look, he's got a spider, looks like... but no, I hadn't made that connection at all.
I think it might be the kid version of Spider-Man. That's
a cartoon?
Yes. There's Spider-Man, but he's a kid.
Oh,
and,
okay.
He's black. The suit is black.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
I've seen pictures online, but yeah, no, I don't think I've seen that.
He's not he's a good Spider-Man. Usually black means, when you have a black suit, you're usually the bad guy, but...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There are some nice sportsmanship, and then they start sweeping each other's legs and then they try to pin each other, and then they both do a double drop kick, which looks pretty cool because like their feet were like right next to each other because they were about to do this drop kick at the same place, and Chris Morris attacked both wrestlers.
Chris Morris?
Yes, Morris.
Who's Chris Morris? Chris Morris is a British comedian.
No, Chris Morris attacked both of them.
Oh, he came into the ring?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Chris. I have something about Chris Moore on here in the previous
Morris. Chris Morris attacked both wrestlers.
I got Chris Moore came out in the last match.
No. The person who came out in the last match was Sless, Taylor, and Brayden.
No. In the one from the event in February, Chris Moore came out and interfered in that match.
No. That was the person who Oh, I think that's Chris Thorn.
How many Chris's is there in this one? So we got Chris Rex, Chris Morris,
Masters.
Chris Masters. This should just be Infinite Chris Pro Wrestling.
Chris Rex.
Yeah, I don't know then. Hey, you might be right then. I got my notes are confusing because I got things from February and also from March as well. I looked up Chris for this one. I picked one person to look at. Chris Rex said he was going to a GIW match to see Franco and Wesley Pipes in Harrington. I was like, oh great, we'll go see that as well. It was Harrington, Maine, not Harrington, Delaware. What are the odds of turning up in two places like that? Wrestling in Harrington, Delaware for Infinite Pro, and then there's also another Harrington, Maine that you wrestle in as well. It's not like it's that common a name. It's not like it's a Springfield. Like if it was a Springfield, I'll go, fair enough. There's like a ton of those all over the country.
Yeah, there's one near here, and then I think it's the capital of Illinois.
Yes, it is, yeah. Yeah, there's a Springfield in Virginia, which is not too far away from us. I did find a few things for him on Twitter. His pin post is really good. He's got a highlight reel. I love them when they do that. So when you don't know about a wrestler, you can watch like the best things that they've done in the last year. You can find him at KRISR3X. I'm going to guess somebody already had at Chris Rex. That's kind of unusual. That wouldn't be a common name. Anyway, also I saw on IndieWrestlingLife.com, it says he worked for Beyond Wrestling as well. So that might be something I'll talk to Blade Job about possibly as well. Now, this is why I got confused, because my last comment I wrote down here, it says, Chris Moore came out last match on Suplex Challenge, and then I put Jackson Stone defeated Chris Moore. So I thought I'd looked up Chris Moore for that very reason. I guess I got it wrong then. So Chris Moore came out, or Chris Morris. I don't know. We should just edit all this out, checking exactly what it is later. Should we go on to match 3, since we don't know the end of the match 2?
Oh yeah, did the Jordan Grace Orange Cassidy match happen yet?
Yeah, it happened.
Was it good?
It was very good.
Okay.
Yep, Orange Cassidy retained. Alright, match 3. Main attraction with Erica Lee versus Birds of Freedom. The Birds of Freedom actually faced Golden Pinky Society on their debut at Harrington when I was there. Alright, the main attraction didn't appear. Jake was still actually in a sling at this point, Jake Hollister. So it was a singles match. So actually Bo Crockett was against Dewan O'Neill, and it was actually Dewan's debut. It was Dewan O'Neill's birthday the other day as well.
Oh.
I literally saw that one as well. And, yes, I think that's it.
So the Birds of Freedom do a Moonlight Hour, and then Jake Hollister does like a Coquina Clutch, and then Boff does a Running Bulldog and a Drop Kick at the same time. Oh, I said Boff. Birds of Freedom.
Uh-huh. You got your own little acronym for them.
Yeah.
If they're on WWE, that's probably what they'd be called by now.
Yeah. So Erica Lee, she interferes, and Birds of Freedom gets like the top rope low blow, then a kick from Jake and a clothesline from Bo for the win.
Like, as if it's not enough with Jake Hollister interfering in matches. They've got Erica Lee on the side now as well, so there's like 2 people running interference for this one. I actually posted on Twitter for this one. We got quite a pop from the Bagshaw living room when those guys came out. We're like, hey, it's Bo and Jake. We were really happy to see them. And they were still clearly heels for this one. But they got, they were politely applauded and stuff. It wasn't like people were booing them or anything. So, no, they went down pretty good. We talk a lot about those guys, so we didn't mention those. Birds of Freedom, I had a big problem finding anything about that. There was a famous tag team, I think, called Birds of Freedom in WWE, or whenever I googled it, it's like a similar name, and they came up every time, so I didn't actually find out. Oh, now that explains my notes. Birds of Freedom are Jake Carter and Corey Roberts. I asked Benjamin Banks what their name was, so I could look them up, and I totally forgot to look them up in the end. Oh. Sorry, guys. Next time. We've seen them a few times, so we know they'll be back, right? Next time we review something, I'm going to look up Jake Carter and Corey Roberts. All right, match 4. Charlie Kruel versus Roni Nicole.
Oh.
Now, I'd seen actually both of these, and it was actually a repeat match. It was listed before, though, as Big Bang Nicole versus Charlie Kruel. And it says, this match showed how dominant Nicole can be, dominating Charlie throughout the match. However, Charlie gained an advantage late in the match to defeat Big Bang Nicole. Another debut win. So actually, when we went to see it, there was quite a few debuts when Jackson and I went there. So Big Bang Nicole won. This one that we saw was Roni Nicole. All right, what you got for this?
So Roni does a stinky face,
Mm-hmm.
and then, oh yeah, Jessie's grabbing my pen like she wants to take the notes. she like puts her paw on top of the pen, so I can't like grab the pen.
Heel cat.
Yeah, she did a spit up before we started recording, and then he stepped on it.
Uh-huh.
Heel
Yeah,
moment.
she's not in my good books right now. Did she stop you taking any notes, or do you have anything?
No, I have some.
Okay.
So Kruel does some yes kicks, and then Kruel wins with a trip roll up.
Okay, now I looked up Charlie Kruel for this one to begin with, and she said on Twitter, this is on April 26th. Now you got to remember, we're recording this way after the event actually happened. That's why there's such a gap. Just to remind everyone, tomorrow I'll be back in the Chicago area for New Age Wrestling versus at Real Sierra and at Vanessa Azure. Now I've seen Real Sierra actually. She's somebody who's been on my, I guess, peripheral vision for the last couple of months. I heard an interview with her, so now I follow her. So it was funny that her name came up. It's interesting how there's sometimes you catch a wrestler's name and then suddenly you notice them more and more. It says you might as well announce me now as the winner. This is going to be the best. This is going to be the way. This is going to be way too easy. See you both there, ladies. Real Sierra was on Dark Match Podcast. That's where I picked her up from. And Roni Nicole, she has highlights on YouTube that I went to check out a little bit as well. And she had a match from 2014 at PWX, which I'm not quite sure what wrestling organisation that is. She faced Tessa Blanchard.
Oh.
That's pretty. That's a pretty big name. Yeah, Tessa Blanchard defeated. It said Rhino Nicole on this one, but it was Rino. So I don't know if it was spelt incorrectly or Reno. I don't know. So that's kind of what I'm curious about. So did they spell Ron? Oh, they typed in Ronnie incorrectly. I just realised. It's an anagram of the word Ronnie. Roni. I guess it might have been spell check. You know, sometimes it changes it for you. So I'm still kind of curious though. Why is she Roni sometimes? Why is she Big Bang Nicole sometimes? I don't know if it's like Finn Balor and Demon Balor. I don't think it's quite like that.
At least it's not as bad as Glasses.
It's not as bad as the one for... Yeah, at least they tried to get the name right for that one rather than just listing Sage Phillips as that. Alright, match 5. Aaron Williams and Eli McFly, Freeman, and Jace Thorn. I'm guessing this is a 4-way match then.
Yes,
Okay.
it's an elimination match.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, so Eli right out the gate, he does a Kevin Owens and just steps outside the ring.
Good tactic.
Yeah. Eli looks like Sammy. He really looks like Sammy Callahan.
Okay.
That's who he reminds me of. He has that jacket
Okay.
and that look. And it's a quadruple suplex. So one gets on the top rope, the other goes on the bottom, and
Yep.
And Freeman does 10 drop kicks to the others, and then Freedom then gets eliminated, but I don't remember. I don't have how.
Okay.
And then Eli McFly gets eliminated by a SOS.
Mhm.
And Aaron Williams wins with a Hurricane Run off the top rope.
Now, I managed to find a few of these guys, and I followed them on Twitter. I followed a couple of them on Twitter. It was really difficult to find them, because some of them, like Aaron Williams, that's a really common name.
Yeah.
Freeman, obviously that's not his real name, or I'm guessing that's not his real name. It seems unlikely. So, yeah, I didn't get much for this one. I don't think this was that long of a match, either. Anyway, I don't have anything for this one, so I'll have to check up some of these next time. Jace Thorn, I'm sure I should be able to find something. I know I read something about Eli McFly, and then, I don't know, I didn't write anything down. Alright, match 6. Paragon versus Bad Bad Banks, and we already talked about this earlier. They featured in the Fury Television title with Sless Taylor, so...
Paragon versus Bad Bad Banks, and Paragon went for a dive, then he gets cut off by Bad Bad Banks, but we found another... Oh, so the thing gets cut off. They're in the middle of this, and then we found another one. And
oh, it did.
Yeah.
Now let me talk about it. Let me go back a little bit of this one, because we actually stopped watching because we followed the link, and then this is when I started looking. I was like, I wonder if I look on some of the wrestlers whether I can find something. So I started to look on Paragon. Unfortunately, there's a wrestling group called Paragon Pro Wrestling. So when you try to search for him, it was really difficult to find anything. It says Paragon Pro Wrestling aims to bring the excitement of old school professional wrestling back to national TV, with this weekly series featuring the company's top stars in action. The PPW roster features a mixture of young upstart competitors and veterans who viewers may recognise from having previously competed in organisations that are nationally televised. So let me give you a few of these names and see if that's true then. Joey Ryan.
Yeah.
Jimmy Jacobs.
Yeah.
Killer Cross. Actually, it says Kevin Cross, but he's now known as Killer Cross. You don't watch much Impact anymore, so that might be why you're not.
Oh yeah, I remember him. He's the one that attacked people and put the X's on.
There you go.
And then he joined. I forgot.
There you go. But yeah, no, I thought there were some really cool names for that. It actually sounded kind of interesting, but it doesn't look like they're still going, or not from what I could tell anyway. So it was a little difficult. But yeah, I did actually find on Paragon's Twitter feed when I found him on Facebook first, and then he goes by a different name, or he goes by like something cool or something. And then I found that, and there was a link to Twitter, and then we found that extra link, so we did get to watch the end of this. So go on. You want to give us the rest of this match, Sam?
Bad Banks, he gets in a corner, then runs into Paragon and pulls him into the buckles. And Paragon gets into a sharpshooter, gets out, and then kicks Banks out of the ring. Like, he kicks him in the middle of the ring, then he runs over to the ropes, and then, like, he pretends that the momentum carried him. And Paragon wins with a brogue kick.
Okay. With remembering Bad Banks, I wanted to look up a little bit more about him. He's known also as Travis Banks. I was like, that sounds really familiar. Yeah. And I couldn't remember why. I was thinking, did we see him at VCW? And it was actually NXT UK. Yeah. He's, I think, the current tag team champion with, oh gosh, I can't remember now. Ugh.
Tyler Bate?
No, that's Mustache Mountain. It's the other one, the ones that they're rivals with anyway. Now, his real name is...
Oh, England's #1.
I don't remember what his name is, but that's kind of unfortunate. If you choose that as your wrestling name, and then somebody else also chooses it, and that name comes to prominence. So I'm not sure if that's why he changed it to Bad Banks, but I'm sure that avoids confusion. If you see on a wrestling ticket that Travis Banks is going to be there, and you thought it was the one who was the NXT UK champion, that kind of might be a little bit misleading for things like that. So
the one that where they took their shoes off, right?
That's him. Yeah.
Okay, that's Travis Banks.
Yeah, that's his partner.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember the other guy's name, but it's not too important. Now, Bailey, his real name is Trey Bailey. He debuted in 1CW in 2014. He would go on to team with Joe Kerr as the Leaders of the New School. Leaders of the New School would become the 1CW Tag Team Champions. Alright, how long do you think they were Tag Team Champions for? We've had some pretty long reigns on some of these that I've told you about,
Okay, I'm
right?
guessing it's either going to be long or very short. So I'm guessing a year and a half.
You had the right idea and you went on the wrong side. 1 minute and 38 seconds.
What?
The Hotlanta Hustlers immediately cashed in their rematch clause and attacked them from behind. That's pretty unlucky, I would say. In October 2015, Leaders of the New School debuted in Maryland Championship Wrestling, MCW.
Oh.
So that's the reason I included that in, because there was some connection to something that we're a little bit more familiar with. Now, after the match, this is Paragon's Twitter, at the Paragon23. So that's how you find him. His name, you know how you can choose a different name as well? Walking Apocalypse, a.k.a. Champ. Well, that's here now anyway. It says, about last night, #ChampChamp. Last night, my bitter rivalry with Bad Banks reached an apex. That man pushed me and my body to new limits. I'm sore, I'm in pain, I'm exhausted beyond, and then there was a link to Instagram, and I don't get Instagram at all. Also, I saw from at Paragon23, this is on April 23rd, so this is like over a month afterwards. #Broken Pinky Tour continues. So I think he must have broken his finger.
Oh.
So I don't know.
Oh, I was thinking of Matt Hardy and.
Well, I thought of Pinky. I was thinking of Benjamin Banks.
Yeah, I was thinking of Benjamin Banks.
Oh, broken as well. Oh, yeah, I guess so. So yeah, I don't know. That might not be very good though. So I know there's a few people who have wrestled. When I'm trying to think, was it Alley Cat? I think she broke a finger on one, and we're like, oh no, we're not going to see her for ages. And then like 6 weeks later, she was back.
That would be a good tag team, the Broken Pinky Society.
So they could take on from Matt Hardy. Yeah. We'll suggest that next time we see those guys. Alright, match 7. This was the main event. This was Franco Varga. We got his name right today. I don't want to be on the wrong side of Franco.
Because I'm here.
I got it written down. I'm not going to... No, I knew anyway now. Franco Varga versus Carlito. Now, I got a few things for Carlito, because I don't think you... Did you know who he was? I don't think you did.
I've seen him in a match before.
Yeah, okay, so you weren't as familiar as I was.
No.
Like, I remembered, like, his thing was
I
he
don't
bites an
remember his
apple
gimmick.
and spits apple out.
remember
And I remember him for his hair as well.
All I remember him was his hair.
Mm-hmm.
He spoke Spanish, and he walks around with an apple.
So, let me give you some of his stats then. He was the Intercontinental Champion for 90 days. He was part of the Raw Tag Team Champions for 280 days. He was the US Champion for 42 days. So, when he was with WWE, he had some title runs. He's the 17 times WWC Universal Champion. I was like, whew, that's kind of a lot. That's kind of I would say something over that career. And I thought I'd written it down. I can't see it anywhere. Now, I looked for one of his last matches, and it says MVP defeats Carlito. WCR event.
MVP, I know who MVP is.
Exactly, that's why I picked that one. It was in Oklahoma. And also, it said he was the Imperial World Champion for 706... Oh, he is, sorry, the Imperial World Champion. 764 days as of April 28th. So he's obviously still been around. It's just that we haven't necessarily seen him. And I guess you don't. If you want, most of your wrestling is watching WWE.
Yeah.
You're not familiar with what
And the
happens
thing
to
is,
those
some
characters.
wrestlers might just be in the West.
That's definitely true as well. Yeah, and even I would say even if they're a few hours away, you don't always get to see them.
Yeah.
It's easier now with Twitter and things. But yeah, I've only been doing Twitter properly, I would say, for about a year and a half. So I wouldn't have always found out about things like this. All right. Take it away, sir. Tell us about this match.
So Carlito spits an apple at Franco, and then Carlito, he goes for an elbow off the top rope, then he goes to the second rope, then to the first one, then to the floor, but then misses. And then a low blow to Carlito for the win, to retain.
So, this is all you're going to give our champion? That's all you're going to say? I thought he did some great heel work at the start. You're not going to talk about anything about the words that he said? I left all this part to you.
He says shut up all the time. And
it's funny when that happens because Jackson's like, oh! I think that's pretty funny though. I thought it was really good heel work. Wow, I might have to start taking over some of this stuff then, rather than just doing the research part of it. So you don't have anything else to tell me then, I guess?
I have a lot for the next one.
And we watched these back to back, and these are going to come out within like 5 days anyway.
I watched this a month ago.
No, you didn't.
Or something like that.
It was 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
And part of that's your fault because you were supposed to... Well, actually, no. Part of that's not your fault because you were actually sick. You were supposed to record, and we came down to record. We got everything set up, and then you just couldn't stop coughing. So we tried to record, and you couldn't do it. And then it got a little busy. And then you had 3 days in a row when you just decided you want to watch video instead. So we missed out on that part. But yes, and I'm confused as well looking at these. We don't normally review back-to-back shows like this. Yeah. And I'm trying to think on some of these. I'm like, was that the first show or was that the second show?
Yeah.
Now, I should be able to distinguish because one was in Columbus, which I didn't recognise. The one that was in Harrington, obviously I recognised that arena. So that was a little bit more familiar. Actually, you probably did watch 3 shows back-to-back-to-back. Because we did watch the one... Because you did want to watch the one that we missed, right?
Yeah,
Sorry, the one that you missed. And Jackson was like, I'll watch it again. And we did. We watched most of the matches again. So, yeah. This one is... I would say by the time you listen to this one, if you listen to it as it comes out, the next episode where we review the April show should come out within a few days after that. And spoiler alert, if you're okay with this, it's actually May 12th today. May 11th was actually the May edition of the show. And we have new tag team champions, which are the Golden Pinky Society. Yeah. So I'm not sure when that review will come out. It depends basically on when they release that show. But I know for that one, I'm sure we'll want to try and get some sort of quote from Benjamin as well, I think, right?
Yeah.
I think that'll be something to look forward to as well. All right, I think that'll do it for this one now.
It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.
Goodbye.
The music was Zigzag by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0, http://creativecommons.org/licenses/by/3.0/.
Good!
Okay, I'm Matt Willis, and this is Graham Bagshaw. Welcome me, kid.
What am I supposed to do? You just introduced me. This should be the trailer. This is it. Listen to us Fridays on the Visionaries Wrestling Network. That's it. That's going. Send it out right now.
We're out of here.